How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Schmoedown Central. I'm here with Brad Thomas, breaking down the week that was in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown. No match on Tuesday. Instead, we had the Anarchy preview, kind of, with a couple team switch-ups, find out who's playing who. The brackets were out there, so definitely check that video out if you haven't seen it already. You got a lot of changes being made. Some other people, especially with the win from last week in the team title match, that of course changed some things up, and a couple competitors had to drop out. There's a couple switches there, but definitely check that out to see what's up with that. There's a couple good teams. Let me know your thoughts also on who you think might win it. I mean, Andrew Guy and also not part of the tournament anymore, so how does that change things? A couple other new competitors joining it. Who's going to be the dark horse? Let me know all of that, of course, but let's get right into it. Two matches, a couple first-time competitors in the singles division, and let's start that off with the first match that happened on Friday. So for the first match, it was Rosie Knight taking on Matt Cruz. Matt Cruz coming in because of the Patreon with the 0-0 record, making his debut here in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, taking on Rosie Knight, making her debut in the singles division after a loss in the Inner Geekdom to Keaton Markey. And in round number one, both competitors not doing too bad for themselves, but you could tell the lights were potentially getting to Matt on the big stage here, and all in all, going 3 for 8 in that first round. But Rosie, on the other hand, she did quite well for herself, only missing 2 questions, going 6 for 8 in round number one. A very solid round for Rosie to give her the 6-3 lead after one round. In round number 2, Matt was up first, and he spins the category of 2000s. You'd think it would probably be a decent strength for him because he is such a young competitor, but instead it didn't quite work out that way. Again, the high pressure situation coming in here into the Schmoedown, potentially getting to him. He did give up a 1-point steal on question number 2, and overall went 1 for 4 in the round, getting 2 out of a possible 8 points. This, of course, giving Rosie now the 7-5 lead midway through round 2. And Rosie was now up, and she spun the category of action-adventure, one of her listed strengths, not starting off too great, giving up a 1-point steal to Matt on the first question, but rebounding somewhat and ends up going 2 for 4, but only getting 2 out of 8 points. This, of course, giving Rosie now a 3-point lead, the same lead she had in round number 1, but this time by a score of 9-6. In round number 3, Matt needing to make up some ground here, and in question number 1, he gets the category of 90s movies and gets that correct answer. Question number 2, getting the category of Tom Hanks, and coming through here again, getting the question correct. This, of course, sending it back to Rosie by a score of 11-9. For Rosie's first question, she got the category of 2010s and can't get the correct answer here. Question number 2, getting the category of family films, and again, getting the question incorrect. Question number 3, she needed to hit this one to stay alive in the category of Quentin Tarantino movies, and she does so by getting that question correct, sending it back over to Matt by a score of 14-11. Matt, his last question, the 5-pointer, came in the category of fantasy sci-fi, and a very difficult question in the fantasy sci-fi realm. Needed the name of Sam Witwicky's Chihuahua, and could not get the question correct as Rosie wins it by a score of 14-11. With the victory, Rosie improves to 1-0, while Matt now falling to 0-1. Rosie, she goes 9 for 15 for 60%, while Matt, he goes 6 for 15 for 40%. Tough debut for Matt, but we'll see what he can do in the future. As for Rosie, that solid round 1 proved that she did know her stuff, just kind of faltered in the latter 2 rounds. So we see in the post-game interview, Jared Habon wants to challenge Rosie Knight. We'll see when that goes down. It seems like everyone just needs to kind of challenge Rosie, and she'll accept whoever comes up to play her. As for Matt, again, we'll see what he does in the future. I mean, he did, again, I think the lights maybe got to him a little bit in this first match, but we'll see what he does in the future. I think he's got a strong future ahead of him, and he does know his stuff. Again, I think he just got a little flustered at some parts, but he did play a smart game, going to multiple choice when he needed to try to minimize the damage. But as for the next match coming up, of course, before that, we get to see a little peek at Mike Kalinowski talking with John the Outlaw Rocha, and basically saying that now you only need 2 wins to get a title shot. He's switching things up, he's talked to Thad, he's pulled some strings, but if he does that, he will play the winner, of course, of Andrew Guy versus Mark Riley. So that'll be interesting to see that match, of course, going down next week, which I'll get to in just a minute. But let's break down the John Rocha match. So for the second match on Friday, we had John Rocha taking on Ben Bateman. Ben Bateman coming in with the 2-2 record with 1 knockout, while John Rocha, he comes in with the 8-6 record with 2 knockouts. And in round number 1, the heated rivalry was renewed, but both competitors not playing up to their A game during round number 1. Both John and Ben missing a couple questions, and on question number 5, Ben Bateman unfortunately saying the question incorrect on a minor mistake, instead saying apes strong together as opposed to the correct answer, which was apes together strong. But still, this led to Ben Bateman getting 4 out of 8 questions correct, while John Rocha only getting 3 out of 8 questions to give Ben the lead. Round number 2, Rocha up first, and he spins the category of Denzel Washington after finding his way to the wheel, and he goes 3 for 4, gets a possible 5 out of 8 points, a solid round for Rocha, only missing the one question, but giving him now the 8-4 lead midway through round 2. Ben Bateman up next. He gets the category of Oscar movies, a big strength of his, and does not disappoint in this round, going 4 for 4, getting a possible 7 out of 8 points, a very dominant round by Ben Bateman, not leaving any room for Rocha to steal to give Ben now the 11-8 lead at the end of round 2. Round number 3, Rocha needing to make up some ground. His first question came in a big strength of his in the category of Westerns, and he gets that question correct. Question number 2 gets the category of Tom Hanks movies, and again gets the correct answer now to send it back to Ben Bateman by a score of 13-11. Ben Bateman up next, and he gets the category of horror movies for his 2-point question, and gets the question correct to tie it up by a score of 13-13. Question number 2, Ben Bateman has the category now of sports movies, and again gets that question correct to lead 16-13, sending it back to John Rocha to hit his 5-point question. And John Rocha had the category of 1990s. He spun away from this category earlier in the game and is able to get the correct answer to lead 18-16 with just one question to go for Ben Bateman. His 5-point question all came down to this, had the category of family films, and was not able to hit the correct answer as John Rocha, with the come from behind victory, wins it by a score of 18-16. With the victory, John Rocha improves to 9-6 with 2 knockouts, while Ben Bateman now falling to 2-3 with 1 knockout. Not the best game for either competitor, as John Rocha, he only goes 9 for 15 for 60% for questions he was asked, while Ben Bateman, on the other hand, he goes 10 for 15 for 67%. He did have the higher percentage for questions he was asked, but John Rocha able to get that 5-point question, which was really the difference maker in this game. So a big win for John Rocha. Of course, he will now play the winner of Andrew Guy versus Mark Riley. We'll see whenever that does go down, but it should be an interesting one to say the least, especially if it's 2 horsemen going up against each other, or even if it's Rocha versus Guy, because again, the historic rivalry, the tackle, all that coming to a head. No matter what the case may be, it'll be very, very interesting to see what exactly does happen in that match when it does go down. As for Ben Bateman, of course, he'll pick himself back up. He's one of the most entertaining personalities in this league, so I'm eager to see what his future does hold, but I'm sure we've not seen the last of Ben the Boss Bateman, especially after a very, very solid round 2 for him there. But let's get into what's going to happen next week on Movie Trivia Schmoedown. So on September 4th, we got Andrew Guy taking on Mark Yodi Riley. Will Guy be able to pull up the historic upset yet again after he did so against Dan Murrell? Riley, of course, coming out of retirement, his first match back. It could be very interesting. There could be a little rust like there was with Dan Murrell, and if Andrew Guy can take advantage of that rust, he could, again, come up with the upset. But I still think the favorite is Riley, but again, anything can happen, especially when you're going up against Andrew Guy. And then on Friday, it's a to-be-determined match at the time of recording this, and it could be, what I'm thinking, the Rocha versus winner of Andrew Guy and Mark Riley. It's the only one that really makes sense with the upcoming schedule, of course, with the live event going on, and then the Anarchy Team Tournament. My money's on, that's what we're going to get on Friday, and again, it'll be very interesting to see what exactly does go down there. So for our play of the week, that's got to go to Ben Bateman in his round number 2, spinning the category for Oscar movies and going 4 for 4 and a possible 7 out of 8 points. A very dominant round 2. Coming up with the loss later on, but it doesn't take away from the dominant round 2 that Ben Bateman had. Anytime you can go 4 for 4 and get 7 out of 8 points, a near perfect round, is very, very impressive. As for our misplay of the week, that's going to be Ben Bateman's question number 5 with the apes together strong. Just slight mix-up, saying apes strong together. Weren't too many big misplays this week, but this is one that did stand out to me. Let me know if you have any other suggestions in the comment section below. As for our play of the week, that's got to go to the outlaw John Rocha. Despite Ben Bateman having the better percentage, it was John Rocha's round number 3 to come back and get the victory that really stood out here. Going 3 for 3 in the third and final round helped secure John Rocha the victory, and that's why he's our player of the week. So that does it for this episode of Schmoedown Central. Be sure to like, comment, let me know all your thoughts in the comment section below, and of course subscribe for videos each and every week. And of course follow me on Twitter at 94BradThomas or at Schmoedown Central to get up to date in the world of Schmoedown Central and all that good stuff. I'm very excited for next week. Let me also know your predictions for next week, and of course the Anarchy Team Tournament is just along the way here. And of course you have the live event coming up. So many great things happening in the Movie Trivia Schmoedown, so definitely let me know all those thoughts in the comment section below. And until next time, until next week, I will talk to you all later on Schmoedown Central.